Let's go with the second method. I want to leave this so we can look at it and compare them. So I'm going to take this and copy it. And then I can delete the stuff that's out here. We're going to use the pivot table method this time. Insert pivot table. Normally I would put my pivot table in a new worksheet, but this is going to be small enough. I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Put the cost of electric in here, over here, count it, and then I want to group it. Now, I want to start at 0, just like I started before, and I believe we did 900. I'm going to say OK, and then go back and check this and see. Yeah, we did classes of 900, so I'm going to do classes of 900. So this should be, that's a lot faster, by the way. This should be pretty similar to the values that I got over here. Only it's not. It's similar, but it's not. 121 versus 82. 113 versus 80. This is, okay, so what's going on? Well, look at my labels. I went 1 to 900. I went 0 to 899. So if I really want to get these to be the same, I force it to start at 1 and see how I do. That's a little better. Now, does it matter? Probably not. It's based on what you're trying to show in the data, but this is where subtleties and where do you start your data can change things. I can go 0 to 899 and have the next class start at 900, or I can go 1 to 900 and match this. Here I could have started at 0 and gone to 899 with the same class width. It would have changed these formulas some, but I certainly could have done that. In fact, I've got enough formulas in there, I can do that pretty quickly and change it right here. So now that I've got the same counts, let's see what else might be different. Well, for one thing, I've got down here on this tail, I don't see a 0. So look at my classes, 1, 9, 18, 27, 36, it jumps to 54. I don't have a class at 4500. This is one of the problems with pivot tables. So it's very nice to get this table quickly, and you saw how quickly I could change my grouping. We'll play with that more later, but I'm missing a whole group. Well, that's what pivot tables do. Pivot tables, even when I'm doing a group frequency, if there's no observations in a group, the default is it doesn't show it. I have to force it to show it. You might want to make a note somewhere or copy a shorter version. It's a little picky. You right-click over here on the labels. That's important. So right mouse click. Go on to Field Settings and go over to Layout. A lot of steps there. And say, Show the items with no data. And it sort of fixes it and sort of doesn't. We have our 0 observation. There's another setting to make it show a 0. I don't care that it doesn't show a 0. I just want to know that the class is there, and when I make a bar, it won't show anything. But it also did this. I don't want those. So I have to take those back off. Now I have outcomes that match these outcomes. And I can automatically see the 226. Now I can just click in here and go to Insert a bar chart. Pretty similar process. Looks a lot like the other bar chart. Notice the labels are automatic for me now, where I had to create a label field before. Take that off. I don't need it. I can make these things go away. I'm not going to right now. Then I have to do the exact same fix the data series that I did before. So the manual process, getting over here, took a fair amount of work, but once I got there, I had maximum control over it. And it wasn't too hard to make this chart. Here, I got here pretty quickly, and then the chart had the exact same steps to make the chart. So why use one versus the other? This looks like it's a lot faster. I suppose in some ways it is. I mentioned that maximum control over here in terms of where you put things. One of the advantages of the pivot table approach is I can easily change my grouping. I can say I want to just group by 500 and see what it looks like. Now it brings back that bottom and top. I can also, so I'm doing that, I can say, I do want to start at 0 and group by 500. There we go. It shows the stretch of that tail perhaps more. And I'm going to finish this off and use this version. I got to take those off again. You always got to kind of remember that. And this would work. Or I say, I don't like that look. I'm going to group it by 750. Which I really don't like at all, by the way. That's not bad. I like the other one better. But you have that kind of control, and it's very easy to change your class widths. Over here, you can change these numbers pretty easily, but you're going to have to then do more work over here, redo the frequency function, then redo the table, or the chart that's based on a table that's now been made longer. That part makes the pivot table a lot nicer. I usually use pivot tables when I do these myself. Using the frequency function that we did before, I'd have to make a new chart and use the percent frequency column. What's nice about the pivot table is this chart is now tied to this table. So if I do want relative frequency, I can do it in the table. And then my chart automatically goes to relative frequency. So again, the pivot table does a lot of the work for us. I still have to mess with this chart that comes out of it because it does not come out with proper histogram formatting. But the mathematics, the arithmetic, it's all pretty much done for me. Even creating the labels is done for me.